Hello everyone, how are we all doing? Hope we're all doing very well. I'm jumping on here and talking about why thoughts are thoughts, just by saying that, why that doesn't cut it. So with chronic OCD, why that doesn't get under that, okay? So yes, it's an important part of the journey, of course, and understanding and learning how OCD operates is important in that regard, okay? So just leaving thoughts there and not engaging, but it's certainly not everything. Okay, let me explain why. Okay, so first of all, I remember when I was first getting help for OCD, before I found the OCD recovery page, and it was sort of look at thoughts, watch them as a cloud, let them be there. So they're onto something. There is some good advice in there. But when you're suffering with, for example, real event false memory OCD, POCD, or all the taboo subjects, and it feels so utterly real. Now, just by saying thoughts are thoughts, it doesn't get under that in-depth level that we need to look at our fears, break down our beliefs, okay? Because if you're convinced you've done something in the past with real event false memory, you're absolutely convinced this thing happened. You can't work out whether it's real or not, but OCD is absolutely convinced you that it happened, and you can't be let off the hook. You can't have a second's peace, and you should be punished forever. All right, now just by saying thoughts are thoughts isn't going to cut that, I'm afraid. Okay, OCD is going to just laugh that off. That isn't going to work. Okay, so I remember having that many times. I was thinking, well, how can this is when I thought I was treatment resistant. Go, how can they just recover from OCD by just saying thoughts of thoughts? But mine's real. I'm the exception. Mine's different to everyone else's. How can I apply that to me when this thing actually happened in the past? Okay, and this is why beliefs and perspective are so important and getting under the fear when it comes to chronic OCD. Okay, now you've got to remember, OCD doesn't just go away on its own. You can't just click your fingers and then he's gone. Okay, so you can be leaving thoughts there. You could be watching them like a cloud, watching them go in and then watching them go out and go, look, I'm not engaging them. Yes, a big part of the journey, but not everything. Okay, so if you did that forever, OCD is gonna feel as intrusive as ever, because if you're not working on your fears, if you're not breaking down the beliefs associated with the fear of why it comes in with that oomph and that power that intrusive thoughts can hit you. Okay, if I didn't ever work on that fear, then I'd be as scared as ever. Okay, and OCD is going to up the realness factor. Okay, it's going to go after something that you can't quite tell whether that's real. Just nestle just out of reach and going, well, is that real? And where you can't work it out, or you're then ruminating or analysing, because you're spending the whole time trying to work out whether it's false, whether it's real, whether it happened, whether it didn't happen, whether you wanted that thought at that time. Something that I did a lot. Did I want that thought? Why did that thought come in then? And that was usually during times of intimacy. That was very triggering. The guilt and the anxiety was very, very high in those moments. Okay, but if I didn't work on the beliefs, I'd still be bombarded with those thoughts now. Okay, because you don't just suddenly cure OCD like that and go, yeah, that's a thought, and get on with our day. It's not that simplistic. It's not that easy. Okay, so I had to look at the beliefs underneath the fear. What's contributing to the guilt? What's contributing to the panic and the anxiety and the shame and the depression, all these feelings that I was experiencing. Okay, so to reiterate, thoughts are thoughts, a very important factor of the journey, especially when you are beginning to understand how OCD moves around, how it morphs, yes, and how it operates, yes, it is. It's crucial in that regard, but it's certainly not everything. Okay, now I touched on this before, but the realness factor. OCD is going to go after the realness factor. Okay, so these are things that I said to myself and just sort of mantras I was saying out loud, or just things where this is where I thought I was treatment resistant. So this was the wording that I was using. So mine's real. Theirs is OCD. I can see theirs is OCD because that's an OCD thought, whereas mine's real. Mine actually happened. These thoughts come in at unwanted times, so that means I'm the exception. Theirs is just a thought about a relationship, and this is why I used to compare other themes and go, no, I've got POCD, I've got harm OCD, you've got existential, you've got relationship, mine's worse than yours, all these things that I used to say. Now, yours is OCD, but mine's different. And also, I look back at maybe events or maybe thoughts that I've had or maybe other themes that I've had and go, oh no, I can see that's OCD now. I can really see that. But the one I'm stuck on now, that's OCD. That's not OCD. I can't tell if that's OCD. That's just not just a thought. That's the exception. Mine's different. I'm definitely not getting better from that. All these things that I used to tell myself. All right. So we've got to remember, it's going to feel as real as it can possibly get. If it didn't, it wouldn't be the nature of the disorder. If we could all just move on with our day and go and define it as an OCD thought and go, yeah, that's fine, move on. It's not that simplistic, like I said. Now, you've got to remember in life, actual real events do happen. So it's just a thought and crack on with your life. Things do happen. So let's say you're in a car crash or you accidentally ran over someone. You can't just go to that person and say, no, it's just a thought, don't worry about it, it'll pass. Give it time, it'll pass. Don't worry, you'll feel better. Give it 10 minutes, it'll be fine. It's only a thought. Well, that's not quite going to cut it, is it? And that's why beliefs and perspectives are so crucial in that regard. Okay. Now, a cancer patient. You couldn't go to a cancer patient, someone with, let's say, terminal cancer. You couldn't say, well, it's just a thought. Don't worry, it'll be fine. You have to just sort of put up with it, get used to it. It'll pass, don't worry, it's just a bit of discomfort now. Well, that's not going to cut it, is it? Okay, you over life experience and over time, you're going to look at those beliefs and you're going to change and you're going to shape your perspectives around that. Okay, so it's just, and thoughts just isn't going to work there. Okay, you're going to lose your job, you're going to split up with your partner, you're going to have an injury. Okay, you might, let's say you love exercising. Okay, you are going to be put out of sport. Let's say you broke your leg or pulled a muscle, you're going to be put out of things that you can't do. Okay, so that's why the unconditional acceptance, the shift in beliefs, the breaking down and disputing irrational beliefs is so important, whether you've got OCD or not. Okay, because real events actually happen, real things do happen. Okay, I wish it was. Certainly at the beginning of the journey, I certainly wished it was as easy as just. That's just a thought. View them like a cloud, okay? They're just a bubble in the air, and you watch them, and then off they go, and you won't bother you again. Now, OCD is very intense, okay? It's relentless, it's cruel. It's going to go after what you really don't want it to. If you don't want it to ramp up the heat, if you're going on holiday, if you've got a big event, you've had a stressful, high-pressured event, say, and you're going OCD, please don't chuck in thoughts then. Please don't chuck in thoughts during intimacy. Please don't chuck in thoughts when I'm at the big event. Please don't, if I'm walking to a job interview, please don't chuck in thoughts. Please don't scan for things in the past. Well, I'm sorry, but that's what OCD is going to do. That's the nature of the disorder. Okay, so this is why it's vital. The tools that we learn with OCD recovery, they can be applied to all aspects and all parts of life. Okay, and also, with thoughts, that we have to continue regardless of the thoughts coming in. Okay, we have to, let me give an example. All right, so let's say I was having thoughts whilst I was running. Okay, and I could suddenly give up when I was running and go, no, I need this thought to be gone before I can carry on running. I need to feel just right before I keep on running. I'll give another example. Let's say thoughts during intimacy, a big one of mine. If I stop doing what I was doing, I'm never going to have sex again because these thoughts came in and I can't focus, I can't concentrate, I can't enjoy the moment, so I'm never going to have sex again. Okay, that's just not going to work. So we're going to have to keep doing things regardless of all the thoughts bombarding you, because OCD is going to up the heat, it's going to ramp it up. Okay, it's going to try and get in there. Okay, and this is why we work on beliefs alongside it. But when the thoughts initially come in, we have to continue regardless, okay? OCD is going to chuck in absolutely anything. There's no limit, there's no boundary of OCD, okay? So once we understand how it operates, we continue living our life regardless of the thoughts coming in. And that's not to say it's not challenging. Bloody hell, it's very, very difficult. I couldn't just clip my fingers and it was gone. It took me ages to get to where I am today. It took me ages to realise when a thought came in that I wouldn't engage with that. I'd carry on doing whatever I was doing regardless. I wouldn't give it any attention, okay? But OCD is going to grip you in. It's going to latch onto something that you really don't want it to. So it's going to do all it can to grab your attention. That's what it does, okay? But over time, you know OCD's tricks, you know what it's going to do, and then you start becoming one step ahead of OCD. Otherwise, it's one step ahead of you, okay? It knows what you fear. It knows what you really don't want it to latch to. So boom, it's going to latch to that. Okay, so have a think about that. And mainly, it's to summarise this video, it's the thoughts of thoughts. It's an important part of the journey, but it's certainly not everything. Okay, take a look at real events that's going to happen in life, and take a look at all the different challenges and adversities that you're going to face, all obstacles to overcome, all hurdles to overcome. You can't just approach that with thoughts of thoughts. Okay, it takes a lot by looking at beliefs and perspectives. Okay, anyway, you have a lovely day wherever you are in the world. If you have liked this video, please leave a like. If you are interested in our webinar services, our one-to-one services, WhatsApp groups, please email phil@ocdrecovery.com. If you are suffering or really struggling with the intrusive thoughts and you feel like they're just taking over and that you just can't control them, all these things that we talk about, please get in touch, and I'm sure we can help. Anyway, have a lovely day, and bye-bye.